is a peace, a holy peace. There is a peace that is shining for you, coming in to make you whole, is shining for you, coming in to make you whole. The Holy Spirit is all around you. The Holy Spirit, oh, Holy Spirit is all around you. The Holy Spirit is shining for you, coming in to make you whole, is shining for you, coming in to make you whole.
As we gather together to know ourselves as whole, at home, alive and strong. Earth, you hold us as we gather together to know ourselves as whole, at home, alive and strong. Guide us as we gather together to know ourselves as whole, at home, alive and strong. Guide us as we gather together to know ourselves as whole, at home, alive and strong. Earth, rooted in truth, grounded in now, guided by love, I am allowing life to provide all that I need to grow. Rooted in truth, grounded in now, guided by love, I am allowing life to provide all that I need to grow. Guide us as we enter in together in remembering we're all at home, alive and strong. Guide us as we enter in, grounded together, guided by love, I am allowing life to provide all that I need to strong. Guide us as we gather together, guided by love, ourselves as whole, life to at home, all that alive and strong. Earth, you hold us as we gather together to know ourselves as whole, at home, alive and strong. Earth,
Good morning. Good morning. And grand rising. A new day has dawned. And I'm delighted to be here with you in this circle of love, a sacred space where we authentically reveal ourselves to our spiritual companions, finding healing, revelation, restoration, transformation, and ultimately liberation. Yes, we are set free, free indeed. Yes. Spirit Rising, a community where everyone feels valued, seen, and heard. This is Spirit Rising, a salon for the soul. Good morning. We're a small group this morning. Good morning, Remedy. Good morning. Good morning, Sally, to the second power. Good morning, Adante. And good morning, Momo. I don't get to see your beautiful faces. I guess you just don't want to delight me. I thought I saw Reverend Regina. There she is. Good morning, Reverend Regina. Glad you could be here with us this morning. Yes, well, I'm going to pray us in, and hopefully our spiritual companions will join us. If not, where two or more gather, where two or more gather. Momo doesn't have she doesn't have the video up. Yeah, Reverend Regina said good morning. And there's Misha. Yes, I'm glad Misha could join us this morning. I'm going to lead us into prayer. So if you would kind of take a minute, pause for a second, and take in some deep breaths, a few deep breaths to ground yourselves and to open your hearts and minds to the abiding spirit within and without, everywhere present. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Oh, great Mother Eternal, Father God, Creator of all things good, perfect, and holy. We are grateful for the miracle of life. We are grateful for this day, a day that we will never witness again. Again, we are open and receptive to your love, your wisdom, your peace, and your light to guide us through this day as we trust and believe that all we need already have. All is well in this moment. May all who ask receive, and all who seek find. May she who stands and knock, may the door be opened. For the kingdom of God is at hand. The most high God, I pray. Amen. Ashe. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. And so it is. Good morning, Becca. I see you relaxing. Good morning. Good morning. Well, here we are, y'all. 26 days into 2020. Yes. What a year. It's off to start. I can't tell you what kind, but we're all 95 is to thrive by clearing out the past and setting powerful intentions for an harmonious new year. Yeah, we're gonna set our intentions and focus on whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are true. If there be any good report, we're gonna focus on those things. Yes. Octavia Rahim, author of Pause, Rest, and Be, wrote, and I think it's on page. I think that's what. Yeah, Becca. I think it's on 77. Yeah. Uh, you are learning what and what is not you. What is simply a habit, a condition that you picked up on the way to put down. A habit, condition you picked up and for put down. You've worn things so long that you think it's really your skin. You are learning what is yours and what is not yours. You are shedding. You are shedding. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning, Amira. Good morning. Good morning. So, this morning, I am inviting you to take a reflect on what habits you are sorting out and shedding that no longer serve you. And spiritual practices do you desire to cultivate and double down on in in the work of transformation, we need practices. Now, if that resonates with you, what's resonating within you, what spiritual tools or nuggets you are adding spiritual bag to help you navigate through this year. So I ask you to take a few minutes, a few seconds, and reflect what happened that you have worn for so long that you think it is you that you want to shed in 2025. Practices, do you double down on it? And if all else fails, how are you riding this morning? How are you riding this morning? Reflect and raise your hand as Spirit leads you. I'm going to start. I like to go first just to get it going, right? Adande, just to get it going. um, I'm trying to practices. I pray. Of course, being Baptist, coming from that Baptist influence, years praying to the side of me, a God who judged me, could condemn me to hell if I did wrong, if I did pleasing to him. But anywho, the Baptist church got masculine at all. But I want to be more affirmative in my prayer. And I want to take a contemplative, just sitting, listening, not asking God for anything, just sitting and listening. A while Donde led us in a offering, gave us one Sunday about just sitting and being still with God. Also, I've developed this terrible, terrible habit of watching television from 5:30 8 o'clock at night. I, um, I've got books waiting to be read, and I just need to stop all that mindless thing I want to do. And of course, I'm always concerned with wellness and health. Good morning, Aaron. Is that hard there, Aaron, because you want to share?
I was just loving on what you were saying, Mama E.
Mm,
Good morning, everyone. Um, I don't know that I have a specific practice that I do, um, but I'm trying to shield myself with positivity, um, and making sure that what I say is positive, and making sure that what I hear is positive. And so when I hear someone saying something negative to me about myself, I try not to own it because that's their POV, it's not mine. Um, unless I've crossed over a line that a boundary for them. Um, I had an experience at work where one of my she's called the play coordinator, so she's my immediate boss, was in the room with me while we were feeding our kids lunch, and child said, she said, "More milk, please." And I heard her, and the lady was standing right next to the milk container. She could have poured it. And she said, "Did everybody hear how politely she asked?" I said, "Yeah, she didn't really ask. That was more of a command, you know." So she should have said, "Can I have more milk, please?" Well, actually, she should have said, "May I have more milk, please?" And then she went on to this rant. And I just looked at her and I said, "I show myself positivity today." And I looked at DeVay. I said, "How are you supposed to ask? May I have some more milk, please? Thank you." You know, and she pulled me aside and said, "Well, I felt that was a really snarky comment." I said, "That wasn't for you, that was for me. There was nothing snarky about it." I said, "But as you were standing near the milk, you could have poured her milk and, correcting my English is interesting, but so that was my mantra for the day was I shield myself with positivity because I felt like what you said to me was snarky and out of line. Um, and it felt good for me to say that because, yeah, yeah. You walked into a room and you don't know what we've been doing for the last 3 or 4 months with trying to get children to stop saying things like, demanding what they need instead of asking for what they need. So, yeah, shielding myself with positivity. I think that's my practice for this year.
I shield myself in positivity. I love it. I love it. And what's so interesting, she didn't correct the child. But she,
Yeah. Yeah. So not today,
you're
dear.
right.
Yeah.
And no more.
Maybe that is my practice this year. Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see.
That internet connection, that's what keeps flashing screen due to correct somebody might be anyway. I love it. And I support you and other people's opinion of you and me, you know, and it doesn't matter what they think about you. It matters most what Sally thinks about Sally. It's important thing, I think, anyway. Good morning, Adande. I think you were next.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
I'm
sweetheart.
on as well. So I was sitting, Sally, I love that. Like I am shielding myself with positivity. And potentially may have to borrow that several days of this year. Um, but I was thinking about how like in my personal life so much has shifted, but I feel like so much is shifting in the world that like I don't know if I have habits to be continued or stopped, or if I simply have to lean into reimagining whatever this newness is going to be day by day. And that's kind of what it feels like. Um, I have to figure out, well, I have to figure out a lot for my own life. But like a friend of mine, sent me a message yesterday and she's like, Target? I was like, what about Target? I gotta stop there later on. And then she sends me this article, and I'm like, all right, it really wasn't too easy to like let go of Walmart, not really a fan. Um, I'm trying to get more into the habit of going to Costco instead of Sam's. Um, you know, there's some changes that are easier to make, but Target is hard. Amazon is hard. Not even gonna lie, hard for me because these are things that I've become reliant upon. But when I love me some Target, and so I'm also thinking about, these shifts in the world and people's perspective, and if some people really feel as if certain things are not necessary anymore, um, or if there is really a push to return to things that are um you more no, more segregated in this country, or like what is to come. And then on a very regular level, now where do you pick up a pack of draws? Like, and that seems really trivial, but I mean that. So if every place you turn is ignoring, rolling back, or changing under the guise of um what do they call it? Just mitigating um this perception that leaning in and being intentionally inclusive somehow carries this tone of like mediocrity, instead of realizing that it's still the creme de la creme that are even extended your intentionality. So all of these things, I'm just like, they're growing pains that are personal and communal and societal, and it feels like a spinning top, where I feel like the greatest gift I can offer myself is the opportunity to simply respond in moments, in whatever way makes sense to me in a moment. And I am a planner. I am a planner. I am a lay it out. I am a 1, 2, 3 literal and linear thinker. So this kind of responding to things as they come that go with the flow kind of mentality is not something that feels comfortable for me. But at this point, it actually feels the safest and the most expansive to me. Because if I try to plan something out, who knows what could be stated on Wednesday of next week, let alone in a couple of months. So I'm giving myself the grace of moving in a type of flow that I've never even wanted to know before. But it feels the most necessary, not habitual, but requirement. That's it.
I hear you, daughter. I hear you. Um, yeah, that paradigm, little, you know, have to continue imagining things day by day, living in the now. Costco, Target, Amazon, they're all the same. You know, and we've been, I don't do a lot of online shopping. You got to do like Amazon. I do like Amazon. I do bulk shopping. So, you know, boom, that's not an issue. But there are a lot of things in this world that I rely on that are shifting. I to come. I think last week we were talking about taking that faith in times like this. Basically, that's what we have to do. We cross. You have to. You may have to stay on the altar for a while, as you know, all these changes take place, and well, we are back to make America great again. Yeah. And shedding is painful. But we grow through what we go through. We live in the moment. But good, I don't know exactly. Don't worry. Be anxious for nothing. Don't worry. Or no, no. Yeah, go with the flow. Go with the flow. Thank you, Adande. Mo thought that text meant let's go to and Tabitha Brown, Sally wrote, ask the question, if we boycott, then what really happens? Pull from the shelves. And she has a contract, so they can't be pulled unless they have a reason, i.e. poor sales, which could be a reason for new business not to be signed. Oh, so a way of getting rid of all of Tabitha Brown's products in the store. Oh, they have a way. Nabisco, Revlon, yeah. That's why we have those big box warehouses. I think that's what they call them. All right, Momo, you're outside. The sky looks beautiful. Want to hear your voice in space.
Hi, y'all. I was resonating with everything. Okay, so to Dundee's point, like doing things that you have never even considered and thought about. This is something really minute but big for me. Like I'm over here walking around with a trolley because I have to protect my back and I got yoga mats and things. I'm about to do a yoga class. So I'm just like, I have to protect my back. I can't be out here suffering, having things on my shoulder like the bag lady. And I feel so like silly because I don't know, everyone's different ages, but like back in the day in like elementary school, the kids who had the little rolling backpacks used to get bullied. And so I'm just kind of laughing at that. But what I'm moving through, I'm calling it boundary boot camp to make it cute. And the words are still fleshing out, but I'm wondering how people pleasing for survival um can manifest and like shift to different things. I was like having housing things and housing issues with housemates and both my jobs, like issues and conflict with like non-black people where I had to speak up for myself. And it was really hard to be believed, like really hard. One supervisor took me very seriously and like told my coworker to apologize. This coworker then blamed me in our group meeting, and now they're fired. And a part of me wants to laugh and cackle because it's like I didn't do anything to get you fired. Like you got yourself fired, and then you then made a big spectacle of yourself, which shows your lack of emotional intelligence. And I'm holding so much compassion, but I also think it's really silly. It's like you literally got yourself fired. So there's that. But one thing I'm noticing because I was complaining and crying to my therapist, but I was just like, I have these skills because of survival techniques. And I think they've grown and I'm not taking accountability for that. Instead, I'm like, my teenager self is mad that I have to do other people's jobs essentially and like communicate. But I just think that I've just developed these skills where I can. So once I move through like the sadness and the pettiness of being like, why do I have to do it? I actually feel really lighter. Like I actually feel really lighter. And like, oh, I can communicate. Like, oh, I'm handling big girl business. I'm grown up. And then that feels really good because I'm imagining what if I did not have the skills, right? And so I'm just moving through that. And then, yeah, the boundary boot camp is like saying what I said and just knowing that there might be consequences. And I should not shrink myself because of that. So that's where I'm at right now.
Thank you for sharing. Wow, I love it. Boundary boot. And yes, have been empowered with those skills. Happens, the universe that did that, gifted that way. So that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I support you in that. And yes, my dear, protect your body, your joint, that as a young, yeah, carrying all bags and yeah, that's another story. We'll get to that later on. Anyone else like to share on it? Are you leaning into in 2025? What are you shedding? How are you, what are you putting your help?
I can share. I mean, video on. Hey everybody. Um, I just I'm have a big prayer, really appreciating what everyone shared. Really resonating with what you shared, Adonde, just about I have a big prayer to be in the current of my life, like which is both the present moment, and kind of the flow of spirit. I think I've just been noticing how my thoughts can be so in the past or the future or just like in my thoughts. So part of for me of the trusting the current, coming into the present is like a radical awareness of my body and of like the present moment needs and this trust, kind of like that the small is big or it's significant, you know, and just this return. Yeah, to the current, to the present, to like my own sovereignty and sobriety, like soul sobriety. Um, which is both like awareness of what's going on right in the world, but also like a real honoring of um, what is most real for me in every moment. So that's kind of it's the prayer I'm in. It's good to be with you all.
I guess my is bad because I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
Am I coming through for other people?
Did she come through for everyone else? She did. Yes,
I
she
heard her.
did. Yeah, I didn't. I'm sorry. I don't know how to boost my internet. I don't know what to do. But I did hear you say standing in your own sovereignty. I love that. I love that. And what is most real for Aaron? That's yeah, from the past and right now. Being being true to your own self. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Did I see him go up and then go down?
Hey, my hand went up. Hello, Spirit Rising Family.
My internet
It
is
is good to
awful.
see. Can you hear me?
I don't
Yeah.
know when to cut out.
Can you hear me?
No.
It's a little choppy to me. You're coming through.
Okay. Thank you, Aaron. All right. I'll try again, and hopefully you all can hear this. I appreciate the question about what are we having to, unearn or shed. First, let me say I'm glad to be with you all. I have missed you this month. But the is such that it had me on the road and it's had me. And in times of crisis and difficulty, my soul gets activated. In fact, I think I'm designed in some ways for, I know I'm designed for big shifts and that I exist on this earth plane to help support big shifts. And so when there are crises afoot, then I get activated. I have been moving around the country this January, supporting resistance and liberation and change in a variety of different places and spaces and sectors. And that is going to intensify probably in the coming future. That stated, Tavia Rahim and Paul B has a line that stopped me in my tracks first time I read, and it was, "Please stop scrambling to be productive in the ways that mattered yesterday." Please stop scrambling to be productive in the ways that mattered yesterday. And I'm taking that to heart because part of how I have traditionally or historically shown up in times of crisis is to go to the front lines, to do what I can to engage the fight on behalf of life. And while I think I am built to respond, there are first responders, I'm a soul responder. While I think I'm built to, the way has to change is that I cannot do detriment of myself and those who love and hold most dear. And that's a stretch. That's a stretch for me. Not that in a way that imperils my own well-being. So that's having to shed, because in the futures that I am trying to seed, my well-being is a part of those futures. And if I sacrifice that for the purpose of fighting the struggle, then I'm literally not being the future that I want to live. So yeah, that's the growth edge for me, is how to do this in a way that doesn't require my all. It does require my best, not all, if that distinction makes a difference. I'll stop there. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. I think I heard a lot of what you said. Adonde put in the text, please stop scrambling to be productive in the ways that mattered yesterday. I heard you give that quote, and I remember when we were over on Humphrey and you were speaking to changing, you showed up in your life coaching, your out and leaning more into your gifts of healing and transformation, your spiritual self, and bringing that to you or with you as you go about mediating and working to bring transformation and healing this agent or wherever you were working at that time contract. That I do remember that. And now you've evolved even more. Yeah, that being a first responder can wear you out. Being a frontline frontline soldier, if you will. So yeah, we don't want you to work in the detriment of yourself and to those that you love. Not at all. Not at all. So bless you, my daughter. Bless you. Before we all right. Well, this morning, thank you. I thank you all for opening up and sharing. And hopefully we'll get more voices in the room as we go on. So here we are. Here we are. I've heard it said many, many times, where you place your attention, your energy flows. And also am learning that when you add intention to attention, you give energy a direction. Energy goes where attention flows, and intention gives you. As we move into 2025, many are challenged by many life issues, family and friends, finances, health, career, spiritual and personal, just to name a few. Today, in an effort to be honest as possible and as intentional as where exist in the areas of health and well-being, I invite you to take 10 minutes of journal responding 5 questions dealing with the life issue of health and wellness. I chose that area. You could choose any other area. Family and friends, finances, career, spiritual and personal growth. For this moment, this gathering, I want so right now, as I age and am facing these health issues. So I have 5 questions. Adande, would you please type the questions into the text, into the chat for me,
Yes,
please,
ma'am.
for
I'm
us?
already posed to do so.
Thank you, dear. How can I love my body? How can I love my body? Secondly, how can I consciously move my body? And with that question, is there a type of conscious movement I can commit to this year? Is there a type of conscious movement I can commit to this year? Thirdly, how can I practice good nutrition? Fourth, how can I get good rest and sleep? How can I get good rest and sleep? And 5, how can I ground myself? 1, how can I love my body? 2, how am I consciously moving my body? How can I consciously move my body? 3, there a type of conscious movement I can commit to this year? 3, how can I practice good nutrition? How can I get good rest and sleep? And how can I ground myself? So we're going to take 2 minutes each. That should be ample time to respond to those questions. And if you want to look at other life issues, finances, career, spiritual and personal growth, I welcome that. But for me right now, this right here is where I am and where I need to practice right now and focus on. So 10 minutes, just Ray is going to play some nice soothing music as we respond in our journals. And if you don't have a journal, I hope there's some paper and pen nearby. But yeah, we'll take 10 minutes and then we'll resume back into our discussion. Cesare, would you play the music for us, please? Thank you. Thank you. I lost time there. So, all right. And
You all still
hello.
had about a minute and 45 seconds left.
Oh, okay. Because I lost time here. Anyone need any more time? Yeah, I finished mine. And so I thought maybe, I'm sorry. But if you need more time, take more time. Uh, hello, Alicia. Haven't seen you for a while. Glad to see you. And Tamara, if I neglected to say hi and good morning and tell you how happy I am to have you here with us, let me do so now. Charge it to my mind, not my heart. We'll say. So, back to our query. How can I love my body? How am I consciously moving? Is there a type of conscious movement I can commit to this year? How can I practice good nutrition? How can I get sleep? And how can I sell? Would anyone like to go first to share their reflections? Well, I guess I'll go first since this is so relative to me. Uh, how can I love my body? You know, love practicing more self care. Um, I have in many areas neglected my body. I did not do it more and all that does and support me. So I think I want to practice more self-care and honoring my body. When it comes to consciously moving, walking. Now, I may not be able to walk distances and walk for more than 10, 15 minutes at a time, but consciously move more and be aware of how long I am sedentary, because sometimes it's just so easy to sit around. Stretching, I need more stretching daily, probably 2 or 3 times a day. I have physical therapy I need to do, and I'm always impressed with Erin and her dancing. And Momo was telling me about doing yoga and moving my pelvic more. So, yes, those are conscious movements that I can engage in more and more daily. For my good nutrition, I've always loved fruits and vegetables, but it was the sugary consumption and those foods high in sodium and fats that were not good for my body. And also, I had to watch my sodium intake. So, yes, those things, not eating after 7 p.m., doing that little intermittent fasting. from 7 to whatever time I choose to eat in the morning. Limiting my coffee intake. Yeah. And how can I get good rest and sleep? Well, lights out for me between 9 and 10 because I love to get up early and have my devotion and quiet time. And if I don't go to bed, if I'm up all night mindlessly watching Law and Order or whatever else I'm watching, which I should be ashamed of watching. But anyway, yeah, I need to get into that bed between 9 and 10. No television viewing in the bedroom. I really don't do a lot of television viewing in the bedroom, but sometimes I'm inclined to. And do not take the phone to bed with me. Not at all. Not at all. And I like a dark room when I'm sleeping. I love a dark room. And how can I ground myself? Wow. Meditation helps me. Doing a body scan when I'm feeling off kilter and wondering what's going on. Yeah, just kind of sit with my body and accept those emotions that are arising. And then take sacred breaths. Those are things that I can do as I address my wellness and health issues. Anybody else like to share? And you know I don't. Yes.
I'm I'm sorry. My child has been on computer, so I don't even know how. But um, there are things that I know I feel better when I do them, like when I move, when I stretch, when I eat lots of greens and fresh things, um, and when I get plenty of rest. And so, of the are all good things. In the winter, though, I tend to be much more sedentary. Just the season and the energy of health, and it's cold, and I don't like cold. So I'm making up the energy to be more, to move more, and of course, the kind of movement that I like. So I no longer force myself to do movements that I don't like. So stretching and dance and walking, those are things that I like and I always feel better when I do them. So those are the kinds of things, Mama Love, that I'm like, but it's so easy for me to snuggle under blankets and to sit at my desk and just type away on or to move from airport to airport trying to get someplace. And that's not the same kind of movement
Yeah.
that I'm taught by discerning for. So this sort of rooting my well-being is asking right now for more movement of the types I love and more rest and lots of good good greens actually lots of good greens uh, fresh foods along with these soups and that keep me warm, cozy, rather than easier, more convenient foods at times. And then I have a lot of activity and don't have as much rest as I should. So prioritizing more rest and opportunities for rest. And that means like with you, that if I get a free moment, I don't need to watch something. I could roll over and just go to sleep. Go to sleep. Though I do recognize the need for compression too. So, and maybe that looked like my puzzles or something, but really getting more sleep is important. That good sleep hygiene. So those are some of the areas: sleep hygiene and movement that I love, and good greens. Those are things I can do.
Thank you, Becca. I remember long ago you got 10 hours of sleep. What a wonderful, wonderful thing. And fresh greens, yeah, I love a good salad. Love a good salad. I'm making soup today. Yes, I am. Tamara, I haven't heard you this morning, and I love to invite your voice into the space. How are you working on your wellness and health goals?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Um, I think for me, a lot this year is just really continuing to build on everything that I started last year. So in the spring and in the summer, I'm gonna have like 1 year anniversaries for like consistently being in therapy on a biweekly basis and going to my Pilates classes and weightlifting and stuff like that. And so my hope is to just one, like make it to that 1 year mark, and two is just to continually like be in that practice and in that study because for me it's become like mindful movement for myself, to stay engaged and moving in that way and to have a variety of things that I can do to move. Um, Nutrition too, continuing to build on the habits that I've had coming into place, like with the support of the nutritionist I was working with, still am. And definitely like sleep, like that part, that's the other thing that I'm trying to work on now is like having better sleep hygiene and just sleep practices, um, to see what works for me. So one thing that I'm gonna do is start having like my own wind down routine and rituals because a lot of sleep revolves around the kids. Like when I need to get them like moving and like teeth brush, like is everybody showered and then migrate them to their room and then tuck in and then talk and those things. So what I've been doing here is like trying to set up a plan for myself at like, okay, so what's a reasonable window I can get myself into my room, maybe have a glass of something warm like tea and see if that helps me with just like fading off to sleep as opposed to like me getting on my phone and checking an email or sending a message, or scrolling or getting on the internet. So that's one thing that I'm trying to clean up is like um, the sleep thing, like trying to get more sleep, especially because I get up really early to work out. Um, yeah, I just want to get more sleep. And then grounding myself. I think the work that I've been doing with like food and movement have been like really good for grounding. Like I haven't felt myself like terribly rattled or agitated despite everything that's happening. And I have emails in my inbox that are like, they're rescinding telework measures. They're, all this stuff about what's happening like at my job, in response to the executive orders. And I'm just like, okay, right now, I don't really know what any of it means right now. And there's nothing I can do about it. So then, it just becomes like, well, how do I just need to move when I have more information? Sort of like what Adonde was saying, like one day at a time. And so I feel like yeah, just the movement, the eating has helped me be in this place of presence and like not getting rattled and just being like, the only thing that I can do is what I can do with the information that I have and to move one day at a time. And so that is what I'm hoping to continue to do. Yeah, so I can just continue moving along and showing up in community and for my family, like grounded and available to like actually be a support system to others and to myself. So I'm hopeful that I can continue with those practices going forward.
Well, I stand power to move forward with those practices. A year, all right. Did you say April would be a year?
Yeah, April for like therapy, and then June for Pilates, and May for like strength training type work. So like they're all coming up, and I'm really excited about those anniversaries.
Yes, I'm excited for you. A whole year. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Um, your nutrition, working with a nutritionist, and those bedtime rituals are something. And you not only do you have to take care of Tamira, but you have the little ones to take care of. Yeah. So I love that. Being grounded and taking it one day at a time, because we don't know what anything means right about now. Thank you, Tamira. Thank you. Maisha?
Good morning, y'all.
Good
Um,
morning.
I'm not,
Is
I'm
it
not,
me, baby? Is it Misha or
it's me.
Maisha?
It's,
What is it? I can't hear.
uh-oh, Misha.
Misha, thank you, baby.
Um, I'm kind of thinking about things in a different way. This, the first question has really caught me up. Like, I don't have anything on my paper. I know the sort of, objective things that I can do to love my body, or the actionable things I can do to love my body. But I'm honestly, I would I would be curious to hear from some of you all on what that journey has been in terms of loving body. Um, I've had some I've had injuries and just pain and ache in my body for a long time that I have never really been able to like pin down a source or understand what's happening. And it's intensified in the last year, such that I now have less trust in my body to support me. Um, and just find myself like hesitant and really I don't know, not feeling quite like safe in my own body due to those things. And then I think I also have a practice of leaving my body um, when I experience intense emotions. And so I think I am just coming to the well and looking for the wisdom of the group to see if that resonates for anyone and what practices you have, I guess, in terms of the emotional relationship that you have to your bodies. I would just love to hear anyone has insight.
Misha, I wish I could give some wise here. I love my body. You know, I was an overweight child, and I did not know how to love my body. How I think neglected my body in so many, many ways. So this is something new for in my to get maintain health and stay well physically, mentally, spiritually, but you and loving your body in ways that promotes your well-being is so new for me. Anybody out there has for Misha? Can you identify?
I can lean in a little bit here. Misha, thank you for sharing honestly, and for your just for your truth and candor and for your query. This is an interesting thing for me because so much of my experience with my body, particularly my journey around health, has been a story of force, right? And I forced myself to fill in the blank. And I had decades of forcing myself to do what I considered to be was well, and in my exercise routines and my eating routines, and I'm being a purist about things. If I'm gonna clean up my diet, then I'm gonna be a vegan, and then I'm gonna be a raw foodist for years, and then I'm gonna, right? I have some interesting history. I won't bore you with the details, right? But if I'm gonna get fit, then I'm gonna be a triathlete, and I'm gonna run 7 miles a day, and I'm gonna swim a mile, and I'm gonna bike, and I'm gonna da 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 da. And when I look back, what I know is I have inclinations to health and well-being, but my approach was shaped and informed by a profound insecurity and a lack of love of self. And so my inclinations to health got corrupted by a lack of love of self. And it showed up as a discipline, but discipline without compassion and real force. Just force myself to get up and do the things that I didn't want to do. And at this stage, it's not surprising I don't have the energy for that. But it's not just that I don't have the energy for it. I don't have the state of consciousness anymore. And I'm at the stage where I'm like, part of having a healthy relationship with my body is loving what is, which is so different than loving what I want it to be. Just loving what is. Like, if I don't love this body right here, after 50 years, when the hell I'm gonna love this body? Like, if the conditions of love have to be achievement of an ideal, especially at this stage of life, where I'm being stripped of my ideals, serially stripped of my ideals, and including sometimes stripped of some of my functionalities, don't you know? Then that means I'll never love this most exquisite incarnation of me. So I don't know all of what your path holds, other than what you shared. But I'm learning to accept what is, and with grace and no small measure of compassion. I am working to not fight myself or work against myself, right? Like, if I know that this thing it has a harmful effect on my body, let me just leave it alone, right? Because to go against what I know introduces an energetic leak from my life force, which shows up as dis-ease. There are morbid consequences of not honoring what I know in my body to be true, because my body keeps telling me is my first love in this life. And I'm surrounding myself, and I think this is an important part of the equation too, with others who see and love and respect my body. This is important because sometimes I'm confused about my own lovability and my body's lovability. And I need help from those who are not confused about my worthiness and my value and my beauty. And in this way, I have to give a shout out to my husband, because I was feeling some kind of way about more of the curves that have bloomed in my body. And I come out of the shower one day and was greasing up, and he walked into the bathroom and he just stood and looked at me. And he said, and unprompted, he didn't know I was having an existential conversation on the inside. And he just looked at me and he said, you look like something that I would have prayed to thousands of years ago. I hold on to that because I was like, oh, Lord. Like, baby, what you want? Talk that talk. But because it struck a chord, it struck a nerve, there was nothing in it that was harsh or judgmental. It was loving and affirming. And indeed, when I look at those old ancient sculptures of women fertility dolls and goddesses and stuff, they're all round and brown and full. And I do look like that. So I think that's a part of it too. I this love of self thing is hard to do by ourselves. Isn't that interesting? It's so very, very interesting that loving ourselves is not a singular effort, but requires relationship and pluralities, in part because there are many dimensions of ourselves, and in part because our own understanding of what is self and all of that is so shaped by what we would consider to be outside of us. Though outside and inside designations are really false ones at the level of soul. So I'll stop there, but not working against myself, trusting what I know, identifying patterns of force in terms of my own relationship to my body, accepting what is, especially as what is changes, and surrounding myself with people who can see more clearly when I'm confused. Those are parts of my answers to you.
Thank you for that offering. Be breaking that one down for a very long time. Thank you so much.
That helped me. That really helped me. And yes, when you do see those statues, they're curvy and full. So thank you so much. Sally.
Loving self can be so hard. Honesty can be demanding. Learn to love yourself. It's a great, great feeling. Desiree, Rebecca reminded me of that when you were talking about how to love your body and what you see and how it's changed, but loving the changes as well. Um, yeah, Misha, I've dealt with leaving the body thing, and I still do that from time to time. In the middle of a conversation, I'm like, this is too long. And my mind will go somewhere else, and then I'll come back. But that was learned from trauma that I dealt with as a child. But learning to love my 62 and 3/4-year-old body and what it used to look like when I was, whatever size I was, it wasn't, is hard, but it's getting easy because it's here. Ain't a whole lot I can do about it. It's mine. And so nutrition is not the issue for me. I think the biggest issue on that list was rest and learning how to rest and sleep through the night and do what I need to do to get through that part. I'm going to start taking an African dance class because I love to dance. And I need to probably take a yoga class because I need to stretch as well. But yeah, so those are the two is learning to love myself, this body, and nutrition. I really don't have a choice. If I don't eat right, I get sick. So that's really easy for me. But yeah, that moving my body and staying focused, even if a conversation is too long, but whatever. But yeah, that's where I am.
Sally, would you sing that for me?
Loving self can be so hard. Honesty can be demanding. Learn to love yourself. It's a great, great feeling. It's Desiree. I Ain't Moving is the name of the song.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I Ain't Moving.
I Ain't Moving.
Desiree, Desree. And there's a hyphen somewhere between Des and Ree. But yeah, Desiree.
Oh, okay. Thank you, dear.
No problem.
It is hard to love the body, especially when Becca brought on about affirmed in your community. And I were affirmed. My mother would say, things that supported me and gave me some comfort, but I always lived hard with my father response to an overweight child. He was very critical of other people's family. So yeah, helped you as well as it did me. Thank you, family. Anyone else like to share?
I can share a little.
Always.
I can share a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can. It might break up, but I can hear you. Thank you.
Well, I'm appreciating this, conversation so much and appreciate you sharing, Misha, and your vulnerability. And, I haven't had chronic physical pain, but I am realizing just in this conversation and in these reflections that in my early 20s, I had severe mental unwellness. And and I'm really recognizing the things that saved me. I would say, like, truly brought me back to wellness was like radical sleep. I mean, still 20 years later, I'm so committed to sleeping as like my primary spiritual practice. And I know I'm sleeping for me enough if I'm like remembering my dreaming and I'm in touch with my dream world. For me, that's like, it's like 9 hours of sleep at least a night, which still feels radical. Like, really? I can give myself like that level of rest, not just once in a while, but like every day, you know, it's still, I still have to claim it as like, it's okay to love myself that deeply and allow myself to be in my dreaming, you know, so that's a big piece for me. Like it comes for, I would say, yeah, really like primary spiritual practice for me. I mean, other things I found at that time in my life that I still practice are meditation as a way of grounding. And almost like for me, it is like medicine. Like I just like have to take my medicine. I have to do my meditation for my own mental health. Um, and regular, yeah, movement for me is important. And I really resonated with Rebecca's share around forcing. I grew up just really, I was a long distance runner and I did a lot of like training and athletics. And still, I'm practicing like allowing myself to move like when I really want to and for pleasure, you know, like pleasurable movement. And it is really seasonal for me too. Like now I kind of just want to like swim, but not super vigorous. I kind of want to float and also like be in the hot tub, you know, at my Y. And yeah, I like gentle yoga. So I'm really relearning like the rhythms that are true for my body. But it does feel like this primary piece for me is like gentleness, rest. Yeah, kind of like allowing, yeah, what's really true in every moment. Um, and for me, the nutrition piece is like, I mean, honestly, it's just like eating regularly and enough for me. I mean, I do like to eat living foods, but um, yeah, it's just like regular nourishment when my body um, is hungry, which is a lot. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I love that you were open and vulnerable to share your earlier young adult life, the issue to overcome. Um, love that. I have to permit. I feel like I don't anymore. I don't anymore. I used to feel guilty about getting 9 hours of sleep. It's like, oh, you should. Uh, but that necessitates that I go to bed early because if I stay up late, I'm going to sleep late. Yes. All right, Adante. Thank you, Erin.
So I got, I don't want to say stuck on the first one, but I definitely spent time thinking through that and not necessarily answering with definitive things. So Misha, I totally like feel you. Um, and listening to, just the communal sharings, I'm coming to this thing of like, I will do things that I know will cause my body pain later, um, because I just want to right now. Like, I know that I'm not supposed to eat any chocolate, but I will absolutely test that limit because I know I can get away sometimes with like a piece or like, a chocolate chip cookie. But sometimes, depending on where I get the cookie from or where my body is feeling, um, it flares everything up. And I'd be like, ooh, that was a bad idea. But we're gonna try it again 2 days later. And so some of and I think it's because, again, it's this idea of like taking something away that I did not willingly relinquish. So, I'm just hearing like a new way of framing some of these things where like, one of the things that I told myself was that, um, going back to the gym, going back to the chiropractor regularly and consistently, um, because when I did that and I started these habits, my body just felt better. Um, and I want that again. And I didn't stop doing those things because I didn't desire to, but my schedule and, the things that I feel responsible and the people that I feel responsible to in my life for me were taking precedence. But it also means that I'm not doing things, or again, I'm doing things that I know will bring my body pain when there are other opportunities for me. So I think what I'm hearing is just kind of this reframing, um, that, maybe is kind of like allowing yourself to be seen from the eyes external to your own. Um, so I'm hearing that and I'm making peace with not being able to answer that question definitively because it's not really a question of like, do I love my body? Like, yeah, like we cool, me and my body. We ace when we're here. But I'm sure that my body is like, yo, um, if you work with me instead of against me, we could all be happy. Like if you would stop um so regularly, maybe you need to have chocolate once a month. And I might be able to give you that instead of you trying once a week to see if you can get away with it. Or I know that I'm not supposed to eat a lot of leafy greens. I also know that about once every other month, I'm going to sit down and have a small Caesar salad because I really like it. I just have to do it when I'm at home because I know how my body is responding to it. But I don't do that on a regular basis because I know that it's going to make me feel like crap. So how do I do more of that, of honoring what I know is like not good without taking away sometimes what does feel good. So it's that, like I stopped drinking coffee and I found other things to replace it with, um, so that I can still have that feeling. I slowed down on my soda and I started drinking carbonated water and I love it. So there are things like that that it's just a replacement for, and remembering to do that when I feel frustrated or it's just easy to run a quick trip and grab something sweet instead of planning this out or having the things that I know, because I used to get frozen strawberries instead. Um, because I know that there's certain things that I can't have, but I love frozen strawberries and I love frozen grapes. And it's the sweetness that I want, and I don't even think about chocolate. So now I'm processing like how do I work with my body in the state of love? Because I'm not intentionally harming myself. I just do things that happen to harm me because I'm not being intentional about that loving on or loving with. I don't want to say on because there's this detachment there. And I want to work with my body. I want to work with my body. I guess that's my answer. Yeah.
I love that answer. Yes, work with my body, not against it. Carbonated water. I don't know about drinking carbonated water. Does that appease your appetite? Does it curb it?
All I need are the bubbles. I just want the bubbles. So carbonated water does that for me. And I just want the bubbles. Like I drink soda because I like the bubbles.
Oh, soda. So my problem, cakes and pies, you know. Yes. Anyone else before I close us out? Well, thank you, family, once again for your openness and your support in helping me reflect on my health issues and trying to maintain health at this point in my life. Uh, Looking forward to the best to come yet. Yes. So I'm going to offer a bless a form of loving kindness to close us out for this gathering. So if you would just focus yourself and open, receive these daughters, may we peace within us. May our bodies be safe to relax, our minds be safe to flourish, and our spirits to be safe to soar. May we reclaim our breaths, our voices, our gifts, and fire. May we glow in the sound of our laughter and delight in the beauty of our dance. May we forgive, accept ourselves, and courageously. May we connect with kindred spirits for mutual care along the way. May we know deep down in our bones that we may we be well. I'm thinking about laughter because of Sally. Anyway, may we be well. May we be, and may, amen, ashe, and so it is. Thank you, family. Ray, will you close us out? Please.
There are so many voices telling me who I should be. Try to hear through the noises and hold on to what I believe. When I listen closely, I start to open my eyes, and I'm reminded of who I am inside. I am enough, I am of worth. There is a reason I'm here in this there's a reason I'm here in this world. I am a daughter of God. I am accepted and wrapped in His love. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. There are so many voices telling me who I should be.
You are enough. Set your life on fire. Seek those who fan your flames. I love you all. Have a good week. I'm going to make a salad too. Yes, I'm going to lunch and say goodbye.